Your mind is lying to you right now. Not occasionally, not when you're stressed. Right now, as you sit here, some part of you is running a story you never agreed to believe. That you're behind, that it's too late, that the thing you're afraid of has already been decided. And the cruelest part, the voice telling you this sounds exactly like you. So here is the question that should keep you here until the very end. If the enemy sounds like your own voice, how do you ever catch it? A man who lived over 2,000 years ago found the answer, and he found it in the strangest possible place. He started as an athlete, a long-distance runner in the ancient world, built for endurance, for the slow grind of the road. His name was Chrysippus, and he came from a small town called Soli, on the edge of the Greek world. Nobody expected anything from him. He wasn't born into philosophy, he wasn't rich. Some accounts say he lost his inheritance, that the money simply vanished, seized, or squandered, and he arrived in Athens with almost nothing to his name. And Athens at that time was a battlefield of ideas, because here is what almost no one realizes about that city. The philosophers weren't gentle old men stroking their beards. They were rivals. They tore each other's arguments apart in public. And when Chrysippus walked into that world, the Stoic school was on the edge of collapse. Their ideas were powerful, but they were vague. Their opponents were circling. One clean logical strike, and the whole thing would fall. Into that pressure walked a runner who had learned one thing on the road that no one else had. He had learned to watch his own mind while it suffered, because that is what distance running is. Mile after mile, your mind begins to speak. It tells you to stop. It tells you the pain is unbearable. It tells you that you cannot take another step. And every one of those messages feels true in the moment it arrives. Chrysippus had spent years learning that the message and the truth were not the same thing, that the voice screaming stop was not a fact. It was a suggestion, and a suggestion could be refused. He took that one insight and he turned it into a weapon that would rebuild an entire philosophy. They later said of him, if Chrysippus had not existed, the Stoics would not exist. He wrote over 700 books. He mapped the human mind with a precision the world would not see again for 2,000 years. But before any of that, he had to answer one terrifying question. Why does the mind betray the person it belongs to? And his answer is where this gets strange. Chrysippus said the betrayal happens in a gap so small you have never once noticed, a gap that opens and closes in less than a heartbeat, thousands of times a day. And inside that gap, everything is decided. Here is how he saw it. Something happens. A look from a stranger, a message that goes unanswered, a memory that surfaces from nowhere. He called this first thing the impression. It simply arrives. You did not choose it. You cannot stop it from arriving. And here is the key. It carries no truth of its own. It is raw. It is neutral. It is just a knock at the door. But then, instantly, almost invisibly, something else happens. You agree with it. You say yes. Yes, that look meant they hate me. Yes, that silence means I've been abandoned. Chrysippus called this second step scent. And this, he realized, is the whole game, because the impression is not up to you, but the assent is. Between the knock and the yes, there is a gap. And in that gap lives your entire freedom. Now stop, because you have lived inside this gap your whole life without knowing its name. Think of the morning you woke up and a wave of dread hit you before your feet touched the floor. That was the impression. Just a knock. But then you said yes to it. Yes, today will be heavy. Yes, I can't face it. And by the time you stood up, the story was already true because you had signed your name to it. Think of the message you were afraid to send. Your thumb hovering over the screen. A voice saying, they'll think you're pathetic. That voice was a knock, nothing more. But you agreed with it. And the message stayed unsent. And the silence grew. And the silence became new proof that the voice was right all along. This is how the mind betrays you, not with a lie you can see. With a lie you agree to so fast you never feel yourself agreeing. And Chrysippus knew that simply naming the gap was not enough, because in the moment of pain, the gap slams shut faster than you can think. He needed something more. He needed a way to force the gap to stay open. A method you could run even when your whole body was screaming at you. And that is exactly what he built. 3 steps. He tested them against the sharpest minds in Athens, and they held. Here is the first step. Name the impression as an impression. When the dread arrives, when the fear arrives, you do not fight it. You do not argue with it. You simply label it out loud in your mind. This is an impression. This is a knock at the door. It is not a fact yet. Chrysippus understood something modern psychology only confirmed in the last few decades. The moment you name a feeling as a feeling, you step outside of it. You become the one watching the storm instead of the one drowning in it. The naming itself creates the gap. It jams the door open. Here is the second step, and this is the one that changes everything. Withhold your assent. Do not say yes. Do not say no. Just refuse to sign. The runner knew this. When his legs begged him to stop, he did not obey and he did not deny. He simply did not agree. He let the message scream and he refused to sign his name to it. Chrysippus called this the suspension, the deliberate holding back of agreement, because the impression has no power at all until you assent to it. A knock at the door cannot enter a house. Only you can open it. And when you refuse to open it, the impression, incredibly, begins to lose its force. It fades. It was never solid. It only felt solid because you kept agreeing so quickly. And here is the third step. Test the impression against what is truly up to you. Now, only now, with the gap held open and your assent withheld, you ask a single question. Is this in my control or not? The look from the stranger, not in your control. The unanswered message, not in your control, but how you respond, what you do next, the meaning you choose to sign, that is entirely yours. Chrysippus taught that suffering explodes from exactly one mistake, assenting to impressions about things you cannot control as if they were catastrophes you must obey. Withdraw your assent from what you cannot control and place it only on what you can, and the mind's power to betray you simply collapses. Name it, withhold, test. And here is what modern science would eventually discover, echoing him across 2,000 years. Between a stimulus and your reaction, there really is a gap, a measurable delay in the brain before conscious response. The people who suffer least are not the people who feel less. They are the people who have learned to live inside that gap, to pause before they sign. Chrysippus found with pure reason what brain scanners would only later confirm. The gap is real, and it can be trained. So, let me answer the question I asked you at the beginning. If the enemy sounds like your own voice, how do you ever catch it? You catch it by refusing to sign. You catch it the instant you stop treating every thought as an order and start treating it as a knock. The voice can say anything it wants. It has no authority. It never did. The only authority in that house is the one holding the pen. So here is what to do tonight. The next time a wave hits you, the dread, the shame, the certainty that something is ruined, run the 3 steps in real time. First, name it. Say in your mind, this is an impression, just a knock. Second, withhold. Do not agree, do not argue, simply refuse to sign for 10 slow seconds. Feel the impression start to lose its grip. Third, test it. Ask, is this actually in my control? And place your energy only on the part that is. Do this once and you will feel something strange, a quiet, a space where panic used to be automatic. Do it for 30 days, and you will have rebuilt the way your mind meets the world. They say Chrysippus died laughing, an old man watching a donkey eat his figs, so amused by his own joke that his heart gave out. And maybe that is the whole point of him, a man who spent his life learning to choose what he agreed to, and in the end, chose joy. Your mind will keep knocking. It always will. That is not the problem. It was never the enemy. The enemy was only ever the speed at which you said yes. So slow down, hold the gap open, and decide for once what you actually believe, because the pen was in your hand the entire time. If this reached something in you, stay a while, subscribe, and let's keep learning to think clearly together, one quiet day at a time.